Hey folks, it's John with KGTropicals.com, bringing you another episode of my Comment of the Week series where I comb through all of my social media accounts and select a comment that I believe is worthy of responding to on video. So let's get right into the first comment. Okay, so this week's comment comes from my long overdue walkthrough of our current setup. I'll put the video right here if you haven't seen it. And comment reads like this. Can we have some more videos featuring Lisa? She's so hot I'd watch her in anything. Thanks, John. Good luck going forward. Okay, let's move on to the real question. This one actually came in by way of email, and it reads like this. I really wanted to say thank you for all the great advice you give on YouTube, especially as I'm new to fish keeping, 2 months. So new that I'm still cycling my tank using the fishless cycle with pure ammonia. That's why it's taken you 2 months. But anyway, my question is, can you give me some advice on how to euthanize a fish without causing the fish to suffer? Obviously, I haven't had to deal with this yet, but I want to be ready to avoid causing the fish any pain. I know many people have videos on YouTube about this subject, but I feel some of these videos appear to show the fish suffering. Really don't want to see that happening because of my lack of knowledge. I really enjoy the videos you put on YouTube, and so do many of my friends in the UK, so big thanks from the United Kingdom. Okay, so euthanizing fish or culling fish or whatever you want to call it is a topic that is very controversial for a lot of people. There's tons of different ways of doing it, but let me just say right up front, I am not the kind of person that has ever done this. So the very first piece of advice that I'm going to give you is try everything before you go this route. You would be surprised at how close a fish can be to death and then be brought back. I've got 2 really good examples of that. I will put a video right here of my Oscar that's in a tank right behind me. He was literally, he was dead. I mean, he was taking a breath every 30 seconds or so. It was horrible. He was beaten so badly by some red devils that he was on his side on the bottom of the tank. His sides looked like they were filleted. Fins all tore up. But Lisa saved this fish and brought him back. The video that's playing right now is him currently. It's the way he looks right now. You would never even know that he was ever in that kind of situation. So now she did this because he belongs to her 11-year-old son. And, you know, we couldn't see the fish just go like that. And we're softies. We try our best to do that. Another example is a dragon blood that I have. I actually showcased this fish a couple of times in shipment videos. I'll try if I can to put a video of him right here, but I don't know if I can find it because it was so long ago. But this fish, again, just like the Oscar was so close to death, and Lisa brought him back. So the point that I'm making is these fish are more resilient than you think, and they can be very close to death, and you can bring them back if you're willing to put forth the effort and the expense, because you do have to get some things to do that, some chemicals, and you have to be really on top of your water changes. But this isn't a video about how to save fish. It's about how to kill fish. But I wanted to say that up front because the only way I feel like any of the things I'm going to talk about are acceptable is if there really is no other choice. It just has to be done. So like I said, this is not something I've ever done before, but if I was in a position where this had to happen, there is a way that I would do it. And it's my opinion. I feel like it would be the most humane way of doing it. But before I tell you that, let's talk about some of the barbaric ways that people do this. And there's videos of people doing it this way. And I don't know, maybe if you're somebody that has grown up in a boat fishing and you're catching tonight's dinner and you catch the fish, you kill it, you fillet it, you put it on this might be nothing for you. But for me, I'm the kind of person that will literally stumble and fall trying to not step on a grasshopper. I mean, I'm just goofy like that. So I am not capable of doing that. Doesn't mean I'm a better person than you. It just means that I can't do it. So, okay. Taking the fish out of the water and stabbing it in the head with a screwdriver. There are people that do it this way. It'll instantly kill the fish, and it could be argued that if there is any pain, it would only last for a millisecond. So, you know, that's the way some people do it. I have seen a video, and I will not link to it. It's there somewhere. You can dig it up. I've seen a video of some jackass taking the fish out of the tank and just throwing it on the ground. Splat. I mean, it's out there. You got to dig for it, but it's there. There's all different kinds of ways that people do this. taking the fish out of the water, chopping their head off. I don't condone any of these methods. I'm just saying that these are some of the ways that if you dig online, you will find that people are doing it. To me, the best way to do this, the most humane way, and to cause the fish the littlest amount of pain possible would be to use a chemical called clove oil. Now, this is a chemical. I will put a video right here. I'm just going to put a picture because I don't want to download Joey's video and all that. Joey Mullen did a video a long time ago where he put his arowana to sleep and actually performed surgery on the tail of this fish. Watch the video. It's amazing what he did. I've talked to him about it. He said his hands were shaking. He was so nervous, but he did a great job and he really fixed the tail on that fish. It's amazing. Clove oil is used for that purpose of putting the fish to sleep so that you can do things like that with it. There's also videos of people doing surgeries on goldfish. But also, if you keep the fish exposed to clove oil long enough, it will eventually die from exposure to that chemical. I think if you put a little bit more in and you keep the fish in it until it dies, it'll work that way. But if you want to put the fish to sleep temporarily, just to, maybe trim the fins or whatever like Joey did, then you would only expose them to that water for a short period of time. But if you want them to just be put to sleep, like giving a dog a shot, this is how you would do it. This is the equivalent way of doing it, would be to use clove oil. Now, I'm not going to tell you how much to use because I've never done it. I don't even know where to buy it. That's what Google is for. If you're interested in knowing the dosage amounts of how much clove oil to use to actually make death and not just put them to sleep, then do a Google search for that. It's actually sitting right here in front of me, the page that I found that talks about the dosage, but I'm not going to read somebody else's work, and I never plan on doing this. But to answer your question, I believe the most humane way to do it would be to use clove oil. And if you really want to be sure, put them in the clove oil. They will fall asleep very gracefully. It's not, violent or anything like that. They'll just gradually go to sleep, and then put the bowl of water in the freezer. I know that sounds crazy, but it's kind of a surefire way of making sure that death occurs. So to me, the fish is already it's pretty much comatose from the clove oil. You put it in the freezer, it doesn't know. It's not going to go or anything. So that to me would be the most humane way of doing it. And then of course, properly dispose of the fish once you're done. If it's a little fish, that's easy. But if it's a big fish, find somewhere to bury it. So don't just throw it in the dump, because that's just me. So I hope this has helped you out. I hope that you never have to do this, but if you do, I hope that you take my advice and do it the humane way. Okay, so I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you've been able to get something out of this. Since there was no video that this comment came from, I can't link you to that particular video, but if you want to see my most recent podvid, which is my weekly podcast that I put up onto YouTube, this week's episode was all about discus. You can click up here and it'll take you to that video. If you want to see last week's comment of the week, you can click right here and it'll take you right over to those. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to talking to you again next week.